you going to be there tomorrow for the CT?
I will on Sequoia, but I will be there for an hour between, I think, 2 and 3. Yeah, 2 and 3.
Okay. So at the end.
Yes.
What do you think of the name of this challenge? Say. Make John sad. So funny. Everyone's gonna totally know what John is.
Oh, exactly. I had to use it the other day.
On.
You might as well show the attendance just.
Yeah.
Those.
Okay, it's a bit deeper in. Okay, this isn't working.
Turn it off again.
No.
Probably not clicked on. Try now.
On.
So yeah, wait, is it on?
Yeah.
It's on.
Try now.
It's fine. It's fine.
Are you sure it's on?
It is on, yeah.
Oh wait, no.
Oops. Okay, so here's the attendance. We'll do that before we do introductions and stuff. If you guys want to scan that.
It's not good. What was wrong? Oh, that worked though.
There's only left and right.
Yeah.
The only function.
Oh, I love how you could hide the screen, but nothing else.
That makes sense.
Can you tell me how this makes sense? Oh, there we go.
I have no idea.
There you go.
Oh, thanks.
Just a quick button. Here's the attendance QR code. If you guys can scan it, just for today, so you can get your attendance. Don't talk all now at once.
Going once for attendance. I think everyone's set. Let's go back to the beginning of the slide real quick. So what's up everyone? This is second meeting for CDO's Red Team. Today we're going to be going over foundations for red teaming and pen testing, and also going over the first step in a pen test, which is reconnaissance. So, if you guys haven't met me before, my name is Nishant. I work for New York State ITS as a SOC intern. I'm a senior, and I'm studying cyber and computer science.
And then my name is Dylan, sophomore, studying computer science with minor in cybersecurity.
So let's get the ethics disclaimer out of the way real quick. This workshop is designed to teach you about pen testing and cybersecurity for legitimate and ethical purposes only, right? Yes? Everyone? Great. And whatever knowledge you learn, obviously, don't use it for anything dumb. Don't get yourself in trouble. Only lawful stuff. So yeah. But here's the attendance again. I'll stay on it for like 5 seconds. Take a picture of it if you need to. All right, so let's go ahead and start off with computer networking. A really basic understanding of it. I'm sure all of you guys have seen this in your classes and such, but just a good refresher for everyone. A computer network is something that allows multiple devices to be connected to enable communication between them, and it allows for resource sharing between all those devices as well among a wide range of users and people within that network. The fundamental operations of a network can be understood at different layers, and we'll get onto that shortly, what that means, but it ranges from physical connectivity all the way to the applications you use within the network. Like I said, we'll get to that. Think the OSI model and TCP/IP if you've heard of it. And just to light refresher on the OSI model. OSI stands for Open Systems Interconnection, and it's a conceptual framework that kind of aims to standardize network communication protocols, and it consists of 7 layers, as you can see here. It's a bit blurry, so sorry about that, but each layer has its own unique function and has its own significance in the computer networking realm. And the main reason it kind of exists, as I said before, is to standardize stuff. It'd be really sucky if we lived in a world where standardization didn't exist, because each device would use its own communication protocol, communication set, and wouldn't necessarily be interoperable, and that would be hell. So, yeah. And this image up here is just a simple like network topography. But yeah. These are the 7 layers of the OSI model, and we can go over them real quick. So if you, let's see, let's put the mouse up here. So if you see first here, there's the physical layer. That's layer 1 of the OSI model. Actually, let's go over the acronym to remember this first. One of the acronyms that we like using, or I like using, that I learned is please do not throw sausage pizza away. And we also had a discussion about this in the CDO general chat a few days ago. Colin, one of our alumni, had an acronym called please do not teach students pointless acronyms. And that's going from bottom to top here. So that's a pretty good one too if you need to memorize this for an interview or something. But yeah. Typically when you're looking at a networking model, they categorize and provide structure for the networking protocols that they're trying to kind of embellish, and they carry a set of standards for them, and it's just like a logical set of rules defining how network devices and software should work. But yeah, if we want to go to the first layer real quick, we have the physical layer, and that kind of defines the physical characteristics of the medium that's being used to transfer data between devices. Think like Ethernet cables, fiber optic lines, maybe wireless signals and such. You also have like, different voltage levels, MTUs or maximum transmission distances, and a bunch of other stuff. I'm not going to get too in-depth into that. I'm sure you guys will learn that in your classes and in your own studies, but yeah. Next up, we have the data link layer, and that essentially works how a like stuff is encapsulated up from the physical layer into the data link layer and goes up from there, such that like the packet is encapsulated with a layer 2 header and a trailer. Layer 2 also provides like a node to node connectivity and data transfer within a network. For example, something like PC to PC communication, switch to router and such. But yeah, and it defines how data is formatted for transmission as well over the physical medium. Appliances that might operate at layer 2 are like switches. Does everyone know what a switch is? Yes? Gotcha. Moving on, we have layer 3, which is the network layer. Another header is added in here called the L3 header, and this also provides connectivity between the hosts on networks, but it doesn't do it within a network, it does it to other networks. Like router-to-router communication when you're communicating with someone else's network. And the logical addressing scheme of layer 3 is IP addresses. Does everyone know what an IP address is? Sweet. And layer 3 also functions to kind of provide like a good path selection between a source and a destination. Yeah, let's move on to layer 4. Layer 4 is the transport layer. Its data is called segments, and it sort of reassembles data for communication between end hosts and breaks large pieces of data into smaller segments, which can then be more easily sent over the network and are less likely to cause transmission problems if errors occur. And it also provides host-to-host communication. Stuff here is called a segment, as I mentioned earlier, and that's when the upper layer OSI model is added with an L4 header corresponding to layer 4, of course. So yeah, the layers above it, you really won't interact with too often. That's more like a software thing. Network engineers don't usually work with the top 3 layers. So yeah, we won't go too in-depth to that, but just to do like a brief overview, layer 5 is the session layer, and It controls like the dialogues between communicating hosts, like establishing connections and managing them and terminating them whenever it's needed between like local applications, like say your web browser, and the remote application that you're using, like YouTube or whatever web app you like using, I guess. Yeah, and then we have the presentation layer. Data in the application layer is in application format, right? So it needs to be presented in a way that the computer can understand. And this needs to be translated to a different format to be sent over the network. So the presentation layer's job is to sort of translate between the application and the network format, like encryption of data and decryption of data, I guess. And finally, we have the application layer. It's the layer that's closest to the end user. It interacts with software applications like the web browser. Common protocols that you'd see on here are like HTTP and HTTPS, if you've seen those before. But yeah, that was a really huge amount of information that I threw at you, so I don't expect you to memorize that if you haven't already, but I just wanted to go over it because understanding how stuff goes and flows through a network is important for pen testing. So I'd highly recommend you go through on your own time and look at this stuff. But yeah. We also have the TCP IP suite. It's more commonly used, and it's also a conceptual model that houses a set of communication protocols that are used in the internet and other networks. It's known as TCP IP, right? And it's called that because it's named after like two of the foundational protocols in the suite, and it was developed by the U.S. Department of Defense for DARPA, if you've heard of it, the Defense like Advanced Research Projects Agency, I think. And it's similar in structure to the OSI model, but it's much more used in like modern networks, and the OSI model is much more conceptual. But yeah. Let's move on to MITRE ATT&CK. So MITRE is a knowledge base of cyber adversary behavior, and it's referred to as a taxonomy for adversarial actions across their life cycle. It usually has two parts, but we're going to focus on attack for enterprise because that's mostly what you're going to be dealing with on the job, unless you go into mobile device attacking and pen testing and like, you know, working for a company like that, but that's what they do. Today we're going to be mostly focusing on reconnaissance though, and as we see with the definition up there, reconnaissance is the act of trying to gather information that you can use for a pen test or an adversary would use for a future operation. It consists of techniques that could involve adversaries actively or passively gathering information, and this would be used to support the targeting of any sort of host on the internet. Any information that the target can gather on the organization, like infrastructure, staff of the organization, is helpful for their goals. And for a successful penetration test, you'd want to mimic an adversary as close as possible, see what kind of information is out there that you can grab, either that's publicly available or through active scanning and active reconnaissance. So yeah, we'll get to that now.
So what we're going to be talking about is passive reconnaissance. This is gathering information about your target without letting them know that you're gathering information about them. So how many of you internet stalk people, like through their Instagrams or Snapchat stories? Raise your hands. 1, 2, 3. Exactly. Yeah, if you're not, you definitely are. Okay. Everyone does that from time to time, whether it's a new contact or someone who's requesting a follow you. So that's an active passive reconnaissance. You're looking at their social media accounts, seeing who they're friends with, who their family is, stuff like that. I mean, maybe not that much in depth, but just looking them up online and seeing what shows up. That's an example of passive reconnaissance. So, but what we're going to be talking about is passive reconnaissance in cyber, in the context of cybersecurity. So a lot of passive reconnaissance kind of falls under the acronyms OSINT, which stands for Open Source Intelligence. So yeah, like I said, you find out everything you can about the target without directly interacting with their systems. So in relation to the social media aspect, if you want to gather information about the target, you look at their social media pages without like messaging them. Like you don't ask them to like, hey, what's your name, what's your contact information? Like that's interacting with the target. You don't want to do that. In the context of cybersecurity, you want to find as much about the target as possible without poking at any of their systems. So that means finding public IP addresses, different domains. Well, actually, no, different domains is kind of active, but it gets a little gray in some areas. But I'll go over some examples later. Yeah, so public available. So one of the main things that you're going to be using when you're trying to find out information about other companies is called your best friend Google. So we're going to be using Google Dorking. And that's basically, I don't know if you guys can see, it's a little blurring, kind of crappy, but Google Dorking is when you use keywords to find certain things on the internet. So you'll use like in title, I don't know, passwords, or in title, that person's name, or other stuff. You can check for PDFs, stuff like that. So it's like a way of narrowing down your search results so you can find some, juicy stuff that's laying out on the internet. So yeah, that's one way of checking for information on target. Another way is by checking hiring platforms in LinkedIn, Indeed. I think Glassdoor is another one, stuff like that. Sometimes they'll list, like if they have job requirements and stuff like that, they'll list the skills and technologies that they use. So you can use that to your advantage when you want to try to figure out what their infrastructure is looking like once you break in. So this is an example that I found. The talent requirements, relational databases, and they highlighted Microsoft SQL. They also specified Windows 7, 10, Server 2012, and 16. So stuff like that. Companies post that with the intention of finding employees, but they also release information about what's going on inside their infrastructure. Looking at the company website too. Just kind of seeing the lay of the land on the public-facing internet, what the different websites you go to, different subdomains as well, different pages within the website. Usually contact information and email addresses are at the bottom of the page. Maybe even like the address of the company as well if you're ever doing like a physical pen test as well. And some tools to help you collect some public-facing information, which is great, is called Whois, Shodan, and DNS Dumpster. So this is more for web-based applications for companies that have websites publicly available that you're trying to break into. So I'll go into that later, or actually right now. Okay, so basically, okay. Trying to think. So, say you have a website. Does anyone know? Raise your hand if you know what DNS is. Okay, that's okay if you don't. So DNS is basically whenever you go to a website, like Google, for example, you type in google.com into your web browser. Simple and easy, right? Well, what you don't see on the back end is your computer and your router and your internet service provider translating that google.com into a public-facing IP address. So DNS is, I think, domain name system?
Domain name server.
It is domain name system, yeah. And so it translates the domain name, aka Google, into an IP address like 8.8.8.8. So that's their public-facing IP address. And every website has that. Every public-facing device on the internet has it, including your home routers. People are saying, I'm going to steal your public IP address. You have that as well. That's how you communicate within the network. So by translating a domain name, like I use here in TryHackMe, they have a public-facing IP address that I can use Shodan for, or actually no, I can use DNS Dumpster. So DNS Dumpster actually takes the domain name and looks it up for you, so you can find their public IP address. You can't see it here, but it's listed. And what you can use then is a tool called Shodan. Shodan's a really cool website. It indexes a bunch of the devices that are available on the internet, and all the different ports that are open, all the vulnerabilities, stuff like that. Some security cameras as well, are pretty cool, that you can look at. So it's all the devices that are connected to the whole thing that is the internet, and it gives you more information about it. So once I go to the TryHackMe website, I grab their URL, plug into Whois, which kind of gives you information on who registered the domain, when it was registered, under whose name, what company. It's a decent amount of information you can find on Whois. So once I found that, I then plugged it into, like I said, DNS Dumpster to convert that domain name into a public-facing IP address with DNS Dumpster. And once I found DNS Dumpster's results for the public-facing IP address, I plugged it into Shodan to see what kind of ports are facing the internet. So you got 53, 443, a whole bunch of them that are listed there, as well as some of the technologies as well. So, and all of this is without the user knowing that you're doing this, because you're not poking or asking the servers anything. You're just going to their website, seeing what ports are open, what you can interact with, and they won't know anything if you do it correctly. The only thing is with DNS Dumpster, there is an option to nmap the target. Do not do that because that is active reconnaissance. That's when you start asking the internet or the server what's going on with the device. So that's why kind of DNS Dumpster is like a little bit of a gray area. It can be used for active, or for passive, but it can also be used for active. So
It's also really good for subdomain enumeration.
yeah, that too. Okay, and then active reconnaissance. So like I said, I put this up here because Adventure Time is cool, but also because you see how they're poking at each other. That's kind of what you're doing when you're doing active reconnaissance. You're poking around the server and whatever infrastructure you're dealing with to figure out what's going on behind the scenes. You're like, hey, do you have this technology? What's your IP address here? Stuff like that. So, okay, so yeah, active reconnaissance. This is actively engaging with the target system to find out the services, service versions, IP addresses, any other juicy information, such as subdirectories, subdomains that are hidden from public view, stuff like that. So yeah, like I said, enumerating different website directories. Does anyone know? Raise your hand if you know what enumerating means. Enumeration. No one knows? Well, okay, I have a couple ifs. Okay, so enumeration is kind of like, it's like guessing and seeing if it sticks. So if you want to enumerate a target, you're kind of guessing to see if they have a certain application running, and if they respond with a certain message, then you know it's working. So you kind of guess. It's a bunch of guesswork, seeing like, okay, do you have this, or what's the response code you give back to me? It's like guessing of what they have and going based off of that. So enumeration is kind of guesswork with different directories, subdirectories, service versions, stuff like that. But yeah, so also active reconnaissance is when you start running vulnerability scanners.
Oh, keep in mind today we're going to be doing a lab where you guys are going to be doing this stuff too. So
Yeah, exactly. So once this is done, we'll actually have you guys perform some active reconnaissance on the target.
Yeah.
Passive is more of like, it's important to know OSINT, open source intelligence, because you can gather a lot of information that way. Do not underrate OSINT, because there's a lot of stuff on the internet that people have just laying out there to be seen. So whether it be like passwords, emails, contact information, stuff like that. So do not sleep on the OSINT stuff, but you are going to be doing some active reconnaissance, because that's more fun, if you will. Okay, so some tools for active reconnaissance are, like I said, Nmap, Nessus, Wireshark, Metasploit, Hydra, Durbuster, Enum for Linux. It's okay if you don't know any of those tools. How many people know what Nmap is? Raise your hand. Three, 4 people? Okay. So Nmap is a tool that you use to find out more about a target. So Nmap does a whole bunch of things, but it's mainly used for active reconnaissance. So that's finding what kind of IP addresses are on within the computer network. So, and also if there's any open ports, stuff like that. So it's a great tool. You'll actually be using it in the lab later today. So I'll explain that more in detail later. Nessus is a vulnerability scanner. Wireshark is not necessarily active, but it does listen to all the network traffic that's going on. So Metasploit is a C2 framework. You guys don't have to know that right now. You're fine. Hydra is a brute force tool for passwords and not passwords for passwords for certain services. Durbuster is used for brute forcing directories for website pages. So you know how like when you visit a website, you click on certain pages and you see the URL change to / like homepage or something like that. That's a directory, and so Durbuster kind of throws a bunch of words after that / to see which one sticks. So and then email them for links. We'll talk about that later in another presentation. So yeah, here's some examples. This is Metasploit console. That's actually Nmap. This is Nessus, the vulnerability scanner. And what is this? Oh, that's still Metasploit. No, yeah, so this is what you guys are going to be seeing today. This is Nmap. So you can see port 22, 53, 80, 80, 135, stuff like that. There's states open, there's services, stuff like that. So, but yeah. I feel like that's pretty much it. Do you guys have any questions for me? No one got that? Okay, sounds good.
So
Yeah.
shouldn't like John the Ripper be there as well as like a brute force password kind of thing?
Yeah, that's more post exploitation. So like once you're in the machine, do you have like a password or a user you're trying to guess? Like John the Ripper is used for brute forcing passwords from their hashes, because all of your passwords for your devices are stored locally on your device. So, but they're stored by hashes. So they're not like plain text. Obviously, they're encrypted and hashed. So once you get into a computer and you want to try to get the passwords of other users on that computer, that's what you use John the Ripper for.
Okay.
So, but yeah,
So it's like that is like
that's like later. That's like post exploitation. Right now, we're just trying to figure out what's on their systems. Like we're just trying to see like, hey, what you got? What can I take advantage of? That you use John the Ripper after you know what they're using, you find a vulnerability or an exploit, and you're in their systems and you're trying to either go to a higher privilege level or jump laterally to another user. So that's later, don't worry. We'll get there. Any other questions? Yeah.
So is this first or do we scope it first? Like we use some network tools, probably something related to website as well. So
Yeah, so what you're going to be doing actually is you're going to be going to a website, and that website will have, an IP address, stuff like that. But all you're going to be doing is you're not going to be doing any of the OSINT stuff. So passive reconnaissance, you're not going to be doing any of this stuff just because this is more real life based. And with these scenarios we're going to be putting you in, they're going to be too small to scope. Like they're not an actual whole company. It's just a website you can break up to. Like if we really wanted to, we can create a backstory and have you look up information online. But we figured the active stuff is more exciting and fun to do, and it's important too. So short answer: no, you're not doing this. You're going to be doing this. So you're going to be doing active, not passive. Yeah.
Is there an advantage of using I think you call it DNS dumpster over just Whois, like in the command line?
Either works. I think
Okay.
NS lookup is.
There are a lot of tools that you can use as well
Yeah.
to do like subdomain enumeration and stuff. A lot of the times it's like personal preference as well.
Yeah.
Okay.
NS lookup also works as well. I think it's built into Microsoft already. Any other questions?
So
Anyone, raise your hand if you're confused on what we're about to do. That's okay if you want. What are you confused on?
No, I'm not.
Oh, okay.
I'm kind of curious, like how we are going to use. You mentioned MITRE, right? So MITRE attack framework.
Yeah, so that's
how is it related to what we're doing?
So when we went over the MITRE attack framework, we were just going over the first aspect of what an adversary would do in order to get into a system, right? So the first initial step of any sort of like activity that you do is reconnaissance. You need to know what you're targeting, what's available. So that's why we're going over that first. And we'll go along the chain as we do like our presentations and such. But our lab is more so going to be focused on, it'll have a portion of reconnaissance, but it'll do stuff past that. So
yeah. So the MITRE attack framework is kind of like a step-by-step guide on how to break into companies, and we're just on the first step.
yeah, it's all the techniques that very
it's literally
skilled.
just how you
yeah.
do what you're attempting to do. It literally just lays out every single tactic, technique, and procedure. So it's very, it's very relevant to this because this is how everything works. Basically.
So if we go to the lab slide real quick, if you guys sign up for an account on that using your student email, you don't need to run any sort of virtual machines or anything. Everything is through your web browser, which is going to be nice. We don't have to worry about VM setup and all that stuff. If you do have a Kali machine already, you can use that and it'll be faster. This website will provide you with a VPN that you can load up. I can show you guys how to do that if you do have a Kali virtual box already.
I don't think you need a VPN. You can just press the
Yeah, you don't need a VPN. It's just much faster that way because the in-browser one is a little slow sometimes. It's problematic sometimes, but it should work since it's only like a few of us in here.
Okay, so right now just create your account on this website and then just wait. Okay? If you guys have any issues, raise your hand and we'll help you out.
What's up?
Can you show me how to load it up with the virtual machine?
Yeah, sure.
Because I was in Bluetooth.
Got you. Yeah, you got Kali and stuff installed on it.
Nah, this is gonna be.
You can use Ubuntu, but it won't have all the pre-installed tools that Kali has on it. Yeah, you can just use the web-based one. So another thing, if you guys haven't done a box before, we'll do a guide at the end where we go through the box with you guys, just to show the methodology behind what we're doing. If you guys, is everyone in the red team, or not the red team Discord, the CDO Discord? If you check the red team chat, there's a walkthrough for the box that you can do, that you can use alongside what you're doing.
Well, why don't we-
'Cause-
let's just have them create their accounts now,
Yeah.
and we can show how they can get to the box.
Yeah, good idea. So here, I'll share so that everyone in the Discord can see as well how we can go about doing this. Let's see. Is this visible for everyone? So once you sign up for your OffSec account, is everyone on this step? Let's just sign out real quick and show people how to get to this. Oh, we have a mention. Where's this?
Is this website where it hands out those certificates like that coveted OSCP, whatever that's hard to get? Yeah.
You can use this platform to train for that, but OSCP has their own platform thing on their. I mean, this is run by the same company, but I don't know if this is necessarily the same OSCP boxes that you'd use.
It's still relevant though.
Yeah.
It's a certificate, that's like the one that's really hard, like none of you guys said.
Yeah. That's one of the industry standard ones for pen testing that you're gonna want to go for if you're interested in that. But
This is another training platform.
yeah, it's owned by the same people.
Okay.
So let's go here real quick. The link that I sent you guys. What you're gonna want to do is sign up with your school email. Do any username you want, right? And once you get to that, you just click sign in. Let me do my password manager.
I'll verify my email now so somebody.
Oh, you don't have to.
You don't have to pay for it, by the way. Yeah.
I saw the price.
Yeah, it's $200 a year. One of the classes that you take at UAlbany called Pen Testing with Dr. Terry Mers, you use this platform in your class. It's a very good class. I recommend taking it. But
Pull it up on their browser or on your computer. I don't think it's having the mobile loading right now.
No, where is that?
How's everyone doing with the account making? Good? Is it working? Alright.
Like right over here or continue?
I think you have to verify your.
Yeah, you just have to verify your email and stuff once you.
Yeah,
Oh,
I was
okay.
gonna ask if you wanna sign up for a plan, you just sign up for the free one.
Yeah, just do the free one.
Just hit confirm, it's already on the, it should already be on the free one.
Oh, just for continue.
Yeah. And then, I'm just gonna ask for some personal information.
I lost my mouse. Oh, there it is.
Did not know they taught defense on this.
Oh, what?
I said I did not know they taught defense on this, like this platform.
Oh yeah, they have a few things.
A lot of everything.
Yeah. But once you guys are in here, you'll be greeted with this screen over here, and what you're gonna want to do is go to practice. And in the practice menu, some of these boxes you won't have because I have the paid platform. So what you're gonna want to do is search for Funbox Easy. Or no, that's in the play one, I think, actually, my bad. Yeah, this is the one you're gonna want to do. Funbox Easy, not Funbox Easy Enum, but Funbox Easy. And when you get to that, you just press the play button here, and it'll launch an instance of Kali in your browser for you to play around with all the stuff connected. What I recommend you do is open it in a different window so that it loads up like this. It'll give you the box IP over here, and that's what you'll use to do all your nice pen testing shenanigans. It also has a inbuilt walkthrough that you can go through. That'll be really useful for beginners. It's not too hand-holdy, but it's hand-holdy enough in my opinion. So, super helpful stuff.
How did you get to this spot again? Sorry.
To the box. So, oh, to the website?
To this page right here. How did you
To the PGP.
Oh, okay. So when you sign in, are you on this page?
Yeah.
Okay. So you go to Labs and then you press Play. And then once you go to Play, you search over here and do Funbox Easy, all one word. And once you get your search result here, you go to Funbox Easy, not the Easy Enum one, just Funbox Easy, and then you press the start button that should be over here. Of course. Does anyone in the Discord have any questions?
Don't see anything.
Gotcha.
It's not showing up for me.
So, are you on the practice section or the play section?
Proving ground.
Yeah, you're supposed to be in the play section.
They don't make it simple. Yeah.
You should be able to download it. You might have to add the website
Both work fine. It's just the one in the browser will obviously be a little slower just because it's going through the web browser.
What'd you say?
It said we love Nmap scanning.
So when you're in the Kali thing, yeah, you guys got it.
We're using an Nmap scan on the university.
Yep. And then
Yeah,
press
you can do
on
that.
the download.
It's much. I do that.
You should be able to use. I'm assuming they're using OpenVPN, so you type into the command prompt OpenVPN.
You got Kali running?
Yeah.
All right.
I can help you once you sign up. Rasant, is the VPN method the same as virtual boxes? Like, do they use OpenVPN from the config file?
Yeah, you just download the Universal and then OpenVPN should work.
Okay.
So if you guys check the red team chat real quick, or if you just go to your walkthrough section that I showed you earlier, it should have like a guide that you can use to do the box if you don't know what exactly to do or like the steps to take. Very helpful stuff.
Also, is anyone going to the CTF tomorrow? The okay, great.
I will not be.
What's that?
Oh, you have a question? Oh, okay.
Okay. Well, we also had a spot open up. So if you wanna play.
I don't know what I'm doing.
It's okay if you don't know what you're doing. Majority of people who are going don't know what they're doing. So
What time is the
9 to 3.
9 to 3?
Would you be able to stay the whole time? Because we had somebody drop out today. So
I have.
what's that? Yeah, we're running it. Yeah.
I have my
Is that part
freshman
of that?
seminar.
What time?
Is this like a different?
Yeah, it's the State of Praise CTF.
I want to scam it. Muckle would be pissed. I was the WA for engineering last year. He did not like me. I don't know why he didn't like me.
So I'll put the link to a PDF version of the walkthrough in the chat as well, just in case that's easier for everyone.
Jeez, that's awful. Yeah, it should be like almost done by then.
Okay, we're all signed up.
Did you sign up?
Zach has a lot of questions apparently. Ask away. I'll do my best.
Oh, I also no, I can't.
No. Okay.
I have.
All right.
I have a,
It's
I have
fine.
a meeting with someone.
You're fine. Yep, it's okay. We'll have more opportunities for competitions. There's also a blue team competition that sign-ups are going on right now. That ends tomorrow, so definitely look that up. That's going to be on a Saturday in October.
Yeah, I was thinking about it.
Definitely do it. It'll get you some experience. Huh?
Since I need a resume, I don't have a resume.
If you don't have it at the second, it's okay, but you need to have it soon, since not everybody submitted it yet. So.
I have a question. What do you guys think? Why do you need to submit your resume?
Because it goes to the competition, and then the competition staff send it out to companies.
Is that the parasite thing that you just said?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so.
It's good. It's a good opportunity.
I know, it
So,
is.
I've seen that.
especially for like CCDC, where they get sent to like
I do remember when I saw it.
pretty cool companies. So, especially if you win.
Yeah, check out the, we still want the space.
We're also going to the pen testing competition in November, and if you win the competition, they literally just like hand out jobs.
Even for international students?
What's that? I'm sure there's more exclusions, but majority they just hand out jobs, which is pretty cool. Our coach is expecting us to win, so
Good luck.
Terry Murs.
So when is that pen testing
Oh,
competition?
It's in November. We had to create a full team over the summer, so maybe next year if you're still around.
Just delete it. Yeah, hold on.
Oh no, sorry, it's just another.
Yeah, go, yeah, just press Alt.
So we'll give you guys about like 30 minutes to go through this box here, and then we'll do a guide through it step by step, show you guys like the process behind it.
It's not as scary as it looks.
Yeah. I'll follow the walkthrough as well, so that you guys can correlate it, and also go through it on your own time if you'd like. There are a lot of boxes on this platform. I wouldn't recommend anything past medium right now. It's gonna be a pain in the ass, but
Unless you're staring at the guide.
yeah.
So just put that window on.
What's the fun in that?
all your transits. So, you're good to go.
Is everyone in their virtual machine?
Let me go over how to do the VPN thing real quick. If you guys do want to do that.
No, I think they're good.
No?
I see a lot
Okay.
of people looking at the.
It's a little complicated, but
Okay,
Yeah, we don't have to do the VPN right
that's fine then.
I don't know. Wait, what's the name of the box again? Funbox?
Funbox Easy, and not Easy Enum. We have some people in the chat that could probably do this box in their sleep, so.
and hopefully if you take the intro pen testing class, this is also pretty easy too.
Zach already has the flags. He didn't even do the box.
Zach, what's the flag? Is it try harder?
He guessed it, damn.
I mean, you're good. Is everyone else? Everyone's good? Everyone's staring at the alley, the little dragon guy? Alright. So, Sam, can you show them what to do? Let's just do a basic end now.
Okay. Yeah, sure. So, when you guys are on the platform here, right? If we exit out of the walkthrough, you can see the machine IP for your box here. I can't really read that right now.
192.168.51.111.
All right.
That should be the same for everyone.
No,
Really?
it'll be a different one.
Okay. That was my same exact after I did it.
The first are the same, 45, 183.
Oh, this is gonna be wonderful. Oh God.
Nice crisp.
Thanks. Yeah, this is why the lab box is weird. I should just do it on my Cali box.
I got it.
You got it? You're in?
All right. Can everyone see this fine?
You just press the other black box.
Let me.
Yeah,
Why is
so
this not working?
just you're gonna use the tool
All right. I'm not gonna use the browser-based one real quick. Let me just load up my VMware.
Go back to, you know, when you press the play button? Yeah, go to that one. That's returning IP. So copy that.
Is there a way to like turn off those front lights?
Type in N.
The front lights?
Yeah. 1 sec.
Oh.
So just type in 182.168.1 or 59.
Why? Okay.
Yeah, I think all of those are hard fields.
Is that any better?
Can you do the ones in front, like in front? Or just turn off all of them.
What?
Or just turn off all the lights just so it's easier to see. I'm a default creds boy. Don't make fun of me.
There we go. That's kind of cool.
So this is on my VM right now. Just do a quick overrun of how I get into the box.
Wait, Sam, is it easy fun or fun?
Funbox easy.
Fun box easy.
I have the VPN already. I'm stupid. This is so hard because I'm like to the side of it right now. All right, should be VPN then. What? Stop. I love this website. There. Anyone find the flags yet in the Discord? Oh wait, it's only Colin, Giraffe, and Zach. So this should run much better.
Oh no, you don't need to do this. Oh, yeah. Actually, no, you do. Never mind.
So is everyone on this step right now, where you have your box loaded up?
Press that play button,
Yeah.
All right. So
and then an IP address will pop up, and all you have to do is copy paste that into your own terminal, yeah. Because that's gonna pop up a GUI version of a Kali machine, but you don't need to do that because you're already on your VM. So all you have to do is an IP address will appear, and that's gonna be your target. So you want to
All right.
your terminal, type
So-
in Nmap with that IP address, and you're all set.
let's start out with doing a basic Nmap scan just to show you guys how that kind of works. Nmap is default installed on Kali, so no need to install it or anything unless you're using like another VM like Ubuntu or something. I don't know if that comes default with it. I don't think it does, but what you're gonna want to do is find your box's target IP over here. Don't use my IP. I don't think it'll work. And you probably don't want to be attacking the same box as me if it does work. But yeah, what you're going to want to do is do sudo superuser do nmap and tac ptac, which just means it's going to scan all the ports and then your target IP here. So like 192.168 .174, I think that says, right? And .111, and then you press enter. It'll ask you for your password since you're doing it in sudo, and it'll start the Nmap scan. This can take a second, but I think since this is just like a simple box, it won't take too long.
You also do TAC T4 if you really want to.
Yeah,
And also TAC M for no DNS and or no lookup. I don't know. It's looking up really, but
everyone did their Nmap scan. It's going. You got it? What does the output say?
Yep. Nice.
The internet just got really slow.
Oh, that's wonderful.
Is Discord weird?
Business building can't handle pressure.
Did you tell him that the password is Kali?
Yeah, so the default password for root is Kali. It's the same as your login password that you used. Actually, did you even have to log in for the boxes on the internet one, on the internet based one?
No,
Okay.
but you do need to.
IRL, it's not that easy.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's not
Alright, so.
So this is taking a
Windows
second.
has, oh, why is it taking forever?
I have no idea, but I mean, okay. So let's look at the walkthrough real quick, right?
Oh, hold on, we can also show them that port 80 is open.
No, yeah. That's what I was gonna do.
Okay, yeah, there we
So
go.
this should be the Nmap scan result that you get, right? So we noticed a few interesting things, right? Port 22 is SSH and port 80 is HTTP. What can we infer about HTTP if it's open?
Okay. Anyone recognize this from their web? Well, yes, it is not secure, but
Right.
anything else? When you guys go to a website, what's usually at the top there? HTTPS.
Exactly.
Or HTTPS. I hope it's HTTPS, but HTTP means that it's a website that's running. So there's a website that's being hosted on your target that you're scanning. So what that means is that you should be able to go to the browser. Do you want to show them like a little visual?
Yeah. So since we can infer that a web application is running, right, or not a web application, but like a website knowing HTTP, we can put in our IP. This is so stupid. We can put in our IP here that we have for our box. And we can go to our Firefox that we have in Kali and just press enter. And we'll notice that we have Apache 2 Ubuntu default, right?
We're having a very unintelligent conversation in the Discord chat right now.
Oh, yeah. So what we can infer about websites like we talked about earlier is stuff like enumeration using GoBuster and like Dirbuster so that we can look at useful directories within the website that we can potentially exploit, right?
This is exactly the same.
Is my Nmap still going on? Or is it?
I don't know. We'll probably kill the process if it is.
I
Oh yeah, press the 4.
this is so dumb looking at this from all the way over here.
To see the 4.
Oh, God.
See your Firefox? Nope.
Yeah, I have a lot of terminals open. No, that's not it. This should be it. Okay. Well, my Nmap scan isn't working, so that's dandy, but that's fine. We'll just exit out of that. I have many terminal tabs open right now.
Do you guys try pulling up the website of your target stuff?
But
Open up a
do you
web-
guys, yeah.
Yeah, so open up a web browser and then type in your target's IP address, and you're gonna go to their public-facing website. Oh, in review.
God. Oh wait, I already have it installed. I'm stupid.
Try to close it and stop. Oh, there you go.
Oh, I did it twice. I closed it.
What?
Look what Raph said.
Oh yeah.
I see that. No, it's not really bad.
So what step is everyone on right now?
Does everyone have the little Ubuntu page open up? Yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah. So if you go back to the website, we just have a box.
So like we talked about earlier, it's important to do additional scanning of our target. When we found out that we had a website, we can infer that it'll have like directories, right? So what we can use to enumerate those directories is a tool called GoBuster. I don't think it's installed by default, so if you just type GoBuster into your terminal, it should come up with a prompt to install it, and you just press yes. once you get GoBuster going, you can do GoBuster tac U for the URL of whatever target that you're doing. In my case, it's this. So
Don't forget the HTTP protocol. Too.
yeah. Don't forget to put that in the URL. So we take this, and after we have that, we just go back to our terminal over here. I have too many terminals open. So we do GoBuster tac U, and then we do our URL. So that's wonderful. HTTP 192.168. I think mine was like 174.111. And then we can do /W or tac W for the word list that we want to use, as mentioned earlier. And the word list we're gonna be using is Dirbuster's word list. So you can just go to /user/share/word list, and then Dirbuster and common.text, and then tac-z. I spelled GoBuster wrong.
They can also use Dirb. I'm a huge fan of Dirb. Dirb's a lot easier to do for this kind of stuff.
Yeah.
DIRB, and then just the IP address.
What am I doing?
I don't know, what are you? Everyone good? Everyone following
Oh. Dirtac U, I think. Yeah. Alright, there we go.
Yeah, press the left arrow key. Left arrow. Or sorry, right. I don't remember. That's the left. There you go. Now you press it. Yep.
So did everyone do their directory scan?
But I don't know why you don't stuff show up for you when you do the nmap scan?
Yeah,
Okay.
that works. Just the
So just follow on, do same thing she did, do DIRB.
I used GoBuster, by the way, Dylan.
No, so you do DIRB space HTTP/IP address. Yeah, that works too.
But it popped up
It's very weird. Okay. X out of there, and we'll just type in DIRB without cluster because space. And then HTTP No, this is all virtual. It's all fine. You can like brute force the hell out of this thing and you're completely useless.
What's up?
These are all fake targets you guys are creating or the attack.
You got what?
What's up?
So I can't open it, and it says I'll open like 8 hours ago.
I know what you said.
And does it matter if this doesn't match my
Yeah, it doesn't have to match your IP. The one that you're stepping into is just like the box that you're gonna be attacking. Yeah. So I don't know why I close out of it and move on to the page and try and get back and do it again.
Yeah.
And I'd stop the box as well.
They're having
there should be like a stop button.
Oh,
You go back
right,
to the
yeah.
website and then like relaunch it. What's up?
Are you having issues with
like on this part.
Start this. No, so you don't use the full URL like that. You just do GoBuster, and then you do space.
Yours probably won't work because I don't know why. If you want, you can try restarting the box when you spell it out. So go back to the previous website.
What the heck?
Yeah, with the
Oh,
target.
it might just be that. Yeah, I think it's good now.
And then try
GoBuster,
You can stop it or you
and then you do dir,
can.
space dir. And what that's doing is just telling it to enumerate directories, right? And then you do space.
Those are all like the websites.
And then like hyphen.
They're on your target's website. Yeah. Oh, that's fine, cause that's just like.
And then you do HTTP and the URL of the, or not the URL, but the IP of the box that you're trying to attack. Alright, and then what you're gonna wanna do there, is that a U?
Yeah.
Yes.
So.
Do a DIR instead.
Okay, yeah, so technically the header. Yeah.
So we got
Are
third.
you sure that's the target? You need to do your map scan.
Yeah.
And then what you do is space hack W.
Try HTTP, like the HTTP header,
And then you wanna put in the word list for Durbuster that I had, I'll put that up right now actually, just so you guys can see real quick.
Just some people are having issues with Durbuster, so I'm literally just having them do Dur. It's a lot easier
That's
syntax
fine.
wise.
Yeah.
Oh, you wanna do that in the map?
So let's see. So this is the command that you guys want to put in when you use GoBuster, or Dylan can help you use Durbuster instead. So the word list is a shared word list with another tool called Durbuster, right? And since you're using Linux, you can like access any of the word lists and whatever stuff that you want to use for a lot of these tools. So you just do TACW, which signifies where the word list is located. And when you do that, it's just pointing Durbuster or GoBuster in this instance to that word list. And what it's doing with that word list is enumerating it, right? It's kind of going back and forth and seeing which entries exist. Like it's showing you here /admin is a thing, /index.php. It's all normal stuff with like a web page, right? So that's what it's essentially doing. Is that what you meant? Or?
Yeah, I just
Gotcha, yeah.
Thanks.
I typed the whole thing and then it's like I think like he didn't get like
No, it'll still go through.
Yo, what's up? No, not in this. We don't have to enumerate any passwords or anything. It's all default creds that you can search up with the services.
I was like, I'm like, it says you can brute force, and I'm trying to use Hydra,
Mhm.
and it's not working. Looking at the log.
profile. Like once you click on directly to this page with book ISBN parameter.
No, you're fine. It's PGI. You're typing HTTP.
Usually this URL. With different
What do you want? Yeah, we don't need to use Hydra. Take a look at the walkthrough. It'll show you like the basic tools you have to use without being too manually. Mhm. So you're looking for a SQL vulnerability, right?
We can also do. There's a directory. It's a little too much. Let me try this.
Let's not have them do a database. How did you grab the admin credentials? Did you just guess?
No. Well, for the main page, it's using default creds. So if you search up like the service and search up the default creds for it, I think you can log in that way.
Okay.
So you don't have to do the SQL thing.
Yeah, I think that's a little too much.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. There's a directory called admin, right? And that's where you sign in? Where's the sign
No.
page?
So it's in the store directory.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah. So how about we just go over the guide, I guess?
Yeah, just do like a basic walkthrough.
That might just be a bit easier. So that's like blinding.
After you guys enumerated all the different websites, all the different pages this website has, they're hidden from view. You don't see any slash anything afterwards, right? You just see that.
Mhm.
But after you use your tool, you should see a bunch of slashes like you see on the screen. Those are hidden websites that this website hosts. You just can't see them.
So say this, right? We have a bunch of subpages on here, right? Like we have /admin. If we go to /admin right now on our webpage, it'll take us to this admin sign-on page, right? And this might be a decoy for all we know that they put in.
I don't think it is.
And then there's also other stuff like /secret. So let's see what /secret has. Maybe it'll have something cool for us.
It's kind of boring. But
It's a cool motivational. I don't know if that's a motivational quote actually.
Anyone when they're being selfish, that's not really. I don't know.
Not very motivational.
No.
Oh well. But yeah, we see that /admin. Let's go back to that and see if maybe it leads to something. So like maybe we can guess our password like admin.
QWERTY.
We see it kind of works, right? Yeah. We also see some other domains like /store. So let's go to that. So here's this bookstore looking thing right over here. This might be something that we're interested in. So when we look through the page, we see some interesting stuff over here, right? We see an admin logon right on the bottom right here. So that might be of interest to us. So let's go ahead and click on that real quick. We see CSE bookstore, the admin page over here, and admin.php. So we can do a bunch of stuff with that. We can try a login brute force, but we can also do just like default creds that might pop up. Like let's try admin, I guess. Oh yeah. Well, that worked out. So we're in the admin panel now, right? And we're logged into the administrator account of the bookstore that we were looking at.
Excellent. Okay, so then it's done. So if you see these results, you'll see slash store, database, store function. Those are all different pages that are hidden in the view. Just like this, yeah. So from those results, you'll see slash store. You trust me. There's see slash store. So just type into your.
We might also be able to use, instead of like trying to guess for default creds like this, we could use a SQL map maybe. So do SQL map URL HTTP 192.168
You can test default credentials.
174.111 store / book dot PHP.
So what this gave you were other equals. So you see slash store. So if you full screen it, then you scroll.
Yeah, that's like not scrolling weird. I think it's my computer. Oh.
Okay, so you want to do admin. No, you can use store.
There it is. Found a password for us to use.
What command did you type in?
I use SQL map. There's also some good information we get on the publishers of the website that can make edits to stuff. We can use that for later. And it also found a password hash for admin right over here. And using logic, we could probably determine that's our login password for the admin account. So once we find that password and all the stuff we might need, we'll go ahead and save this in the background for us to use at a later time. And go ahead and do a file upload vulnerability using PHP. So once we're in the admin page, we can see that since we're using PHP, we can infer that we could probably exploit that depending on what version we're running or what version of whatever platform this is running on, right? So we could do like add new book. We see that we can put in files here. It says image, but you can do some neat tricks with like Burp Suite and some other tools where you can intercept the traffic and put in a PHP file. Oops.
It stands for directory buster.
What we ultimately want to do is get a PHP reverse shell. This might be a bit high level, considering this is only a reconnaissance overview, but I'll go ahead and demonstrate that. Oops. Yes. So we can go ahead and like get a default reverse shell template. So copy /user/share/web shells. PHP reverse shell .php, and then put it in our home directory. Then look, we have our reverse shell that we can edit.
Yeah, so you open the file that reaches out to your computer and you can be like, oh, okay, cool, yeah, I'm in control of this, so then you can do whatever you do. That's like a, slash admin, so that's kind of, what we know just for this box.
That, so you do slash store and then slash admin network. Actually, yeah, just go this way. Press enter. And then scroll down. And then that's kind of doing stuff that's outside scope. This is later on stuff, post exploitation.
So this is all in the walkthrough as well. If you guys do want to follow along with that, I'm just doing what that's saying. That's probably the simplest solution to it. What's up?
So that means it's tries to do that, but it says. Do I have to, pay here until later? Yes. Copy the right. Oh, I see what it is.
So we go to.
Oh, yeah,
It's like a spell wrong.
It's right there.
Just
click on that.
There you go.
You want to open it, it's still good.
No. There you got it.
Oh, smart mistake.
What's up?
What's Vim?
It's a text editor. You don't need to use Vim. You can use Nano if you want.
See what services are open. You saw that 14 users open, so that means they are hosting a website. So you went to the website and you wanted to see what candidates they had. We used a directory enumeration tool called Dirtbuster, and we found that they had a store page. On that store page, they had an admin login credential. So you go to that login, and they let default credentials in, which were admin. And so that's how we're taking access to what information is on the website to take control. And I'm using that information for that access. This is past the scope of this workshop. What he's doing is creating a reverse shell file to upload to that website. Yeah, which corrupts the computer into telling you to reach out to us so that we can connect back to them and control everything. So anyways,
want to open up your browser and go to store and then /admin.php. So type the Firefox.
Are you able to use this without
Two 168 111.
Yeah, this is
What
almost
port
like
do we wanna
outside
change
the
it
scope of
to?
this class.
Just like a good common port, like you can do 4444
That's supposed to be
or like port 80 if you want, whatever works for you.
Yeah, so reverse shell in general is when you tell a computer to reach out to you. Because if you're able to tell a computer to reach out to you, then
I guess 4444 isn't really common, but just like whatever you want, I guess. That's not like
hard to tell a computer
How do you save
ephemeral.
How do you save it from
than
Nano?
to have that computer reach out to you.
With Nano?
It's coming from
Yeah,
inside.
I'm using Nano right now.
So I think with Nano you just do like a Control O to write it out, and then Control X after it's saved.
File that's corrupt. And that corrupt file is going to tell the computer that hosts the website to reach out to you, so we can do everything. So that's outside of the
When we're doing the SQL exploit vulnerability, or not SQL exploit, the PHP reverse shell that we're trying to put into the bookstore admin page.
So you want to
Actually, I don't even know if anyone's on this step right now, so like,
now this is
Yeah.
kind of like past the scope.
yeah. So what I'm trying to do right now, if you guys were looking at my screen earlier, is trying to upload a PHP file so that I could get reverse shell and get control of the target machine, right? But the thing is, when we looked at our SQL map earlier, we noticed a list of publishers, right? And when we curl the page, we see that only that list of publishers can actually like publish a specific thing on the bookstore, right? So all we need to do is take one of like the publisher names and publish as them when we upload our PHP reverse shell. I don't know if that's over any, that's probably over some people's heads, but
I
yeah.
think we can probably just stop there and explain what they did.
Mhm.
Right? I mean, they don't have to get reverse shell because that's a little past them.
I guess, yeah.
Because then they have to generate it on their own and
Mm.
you know, a lot of stuff. But
So basically, you put the name as one of the publishers who trick into the system,
yes,
thinking that you're dumb and you
well,
want
the
to publish.
yeah, well, the website by default as a security feature only allows.
So like you see this person here, right? Like A Press. You could publish as one of them when you put in the publisher name. Like if you put like some random name in here, it wouldn't let you publish it, even though we have admin access.
Yeah, it's like a not like a security feature, but it's a feature of the website. So we're just using that to our if we want to upload a file. The requirements for uploading a file.
So like since we have shell, right? Since I made this reverse shell here, I can do like, let's just enter a random name, shell, author, hacker, sure. And then image, where is it? Where did I put this? In my home directory, and then I have my reverse shell over here. Let's just type shell, some random price, 99, and then publisher. We can do Apress as we saw in the SQL map. Add new book. Now we see our reverse shell here, right? Now what you're gonna want to do is set up a listener port and trigger the actual reverse shell. And that might be over some people's heads as well, but I'll just show you how to do it anyways.
If you want, you can just like I don't think you have to explain everything. You just show them.
Yeah. So essentially what I'm kind of doing right now, as I said before, setting up a listener so that I can actually like, you know, have control of the machine that I'm targeting. When we edited our reverse shell.php file earlier, we specified a port that we wanted it to point to, right? And so we're going to use netcat to listen for the traffic through that port. So we do netcat nc LVP, TAC LVP, I think, right? Yeah, TAC LVP. and then 4444. So now it's listening on the port.
I used to do that with technology. So you're in these, if you're in these labs, right, and it's basically it's like your own playground. You can just unleash like you could do like netcat. You can do as long as you're in that VPN using that IP address.
So all I mean, obviously you can't do anything like you can't even access the I don't think you can access most of the internet in these boxes, can you? Yeah, I'm not sure. But I mean, like a lot of websites and stuff will be blocked on the OffSec boxes.
There's only a couple sites that you can.
Yeah. So you can't do anything and everything, but since I'm on my own box, I should be able to access whatever I want.
Oh, that's what I'm saying. Like you're in this box, and
Uh-huh.
you can use all of like the CAD tools without breaking any like, laws or anything.
Oh, yeah.
No, yeah. This is their platform. So when you're like attacking these things, right? You're doing it to their boxes that are meant to be attacked. So you're not breaking any rules with that.
So that's what I meant.
Yeah.
Right now, imagine an empty box, right? Your computer
Where's
is
my-
in that empty box. It's in a point in space in that empty box, and the target you spun up just appeared in it.
So let's go to our bookstore real quick and activate
and the target.
our shell.
And a bookstore.
C# in a
It's thinking
nutshell.
of like the nerd direction. Dr. Strange. He's in his own little
Yes, yeah,
thing.
yeah,
He can
exactly.
do whatever he
yeah.
wants.
Yep.
Nothing outside effects.
Yes.
Okay.
Yep, just like that.
Gotcha.
Though you do have access to the internet, so if you go to a website on the internet,
Then
yeah, but that's the internet, not your network. Network and the internet are two separate things.
Wait, so if I want to do like follow this, if I just
Oh, yeah, he's editing the shell, or the reverse shell to work with this thing. I don't know. I mean, you don't have to do this. This is, like I said, past what we initially intended to do. Because, like, this is more than active reconnaissance. This is actually, like, vulnerability and exploitation. So, it's just inactive. So what you do
Thank
is
you, Raph.
do the Nmap scan to find port 22 and 80 to see if they had a website open. That was active reconnaissance. When you enumerated all their hidden websites, that's active reconnaissance. As soon as you found the lagging portal and all that stuff, that's starting to get into like, the exploitation phase.
So basically, it was just
The first two steps was just the yeah. Everything else now is this is just beyond our shift. So. What do you want to do now?
It's approaching like end of workshop. So I mean, what I'd recommend is if you guys really wanted to do this box at home, the walkthrough is a bit open-ended on purpose, just because OPSEC doesn't like spoon-feeding information really. So if you want like a really good walkthrough that can take you step by step by step, I'd recommend going on YouTube and whatever box you end up looking at, just search up like OffSec or I think VulnHub, because they used to host these boxes on VulnHub. So like if you go to YouTube and type like OffSec Funbox Easy, some dude will probably have like a really good video to just like go through the methodology of breaking down the box for you. That's what I initially did when I started out doing this type of stuff, because I had no idea what I was really doing either, and seeing other people explain it and go through it kind of helped me develop like I guess a plan of action when I do other boxes. So that's what I recommend at least. But yeah.
So basically, when you guys use Nmap, as well as Durbuster, that was active reconnaissance. So like we said in the presentation today, there's passive reconnaissance, which we didn't do at all in this company, and then there's active reconnaissance, which is what you guys did with the tools Nmap and Durbuster. and that's active reconnaissance because since you were already in their network, you started poking the computer to see what ports were open with Nmap. And once you saw that they had a website, you went to their website. And another active reconnaissance tool you used was ZeroBuster. So you started not necessarily brute forcing, but pretty much brute forcing the different hidden websites on that that was hosted on that target machine you were on. You were trying to trying to find a way into the machine. So those are the only two major takeaways. As long as you differentiate passive